Scott. How are you?
I'm good, Mark. How you doing?
Very good, thank you. So I just wait for our visitors to come on, see if anybody's going to join us live today. Yeah, today I have Scott Galloway, and he is the founder and creator of, I'm supporting, the record player.
See, I didn't see that
Yes.
earlier because the banner. But
See, there you go, record player. I decided to support today too. Um, so yeah,
I was
this
worried.
month is.
I was sorry. I was worried because you're always wearing like a suit and stuff, so I thought I'd be underdressed.
Just throw a jacket over top of a t-shirt and you're all good. And shorts underneath, of course. So.
Of course, yeah, obviously.
So yeah, I just want to talk about, so this month we're sort of focusing on community. This Tuesday talk that we've been doing for a while now has been focused a lot on real estate. Obviously, real estate's my business, and I'm trying to share some real estate knowledge and different things. But I thought, coming out of COVID and talking about how we affect our community and what community can do for all of us as well. And I think one of the highlights through COVID for me was the record player's formation, to watch it develop and learn. And it's a great way to connect with other people. And so maybe where did this idea come from for the record player?
Truthfully, it was one night sitting on Facebook after having a couple of drinks with 3 or 4 friends, and you know the little chat boxes on the bottom, right?
Yeah.
So I had about 3 or 4 different chat boxes open, talking about music with 3 or 4 different people. And I'd always had this idea of having a music group somehow, some way. And I said to them while we were talking, I said, why don't we just start a group? I think I can figure this out. I'm not the most tech savvy guy in the world, but I think I can figure out how to start a group so that maybe we could, instead of having these 4 chat boxes open, we can all talk about the same thing, and we can post stuff and interact. And a couple more drinks. Next thing you know, we're all sitting in this room, and they make you have a title for it. And I just put the record player. I don't even know where it came from, but I just named the group the record player. And we sat until about 3-4 in the morning that night talking about music and posting different songs and different records, and remembering stuff. And within a couple of days, those 3 or 4 guys, buddies of mine that I was chatting with, had invited a few more people, and it's total snowball effect, like I guess Facebook is. And it 2 friends, you invite 2 friends. Within a month, we had almost 300 members.
Right.
And it snowballed from there. It just kind of kept going and going and going. And this is something I've kind of always wanted to do in my life, and it's given me the opportunity to do it.
And how many members are you up to now?
We are just shy of 1,200 members. We hit 1,000 not that long ago, and could be more. I mean, there's Facebook groups that are open to the public that anybody can get into worldwide, and I think the problem with that is you wind up with 400 posts in a day, and Facebook obviously pushes the posts down as a new post comes on, right? So I think a lot of the posts would get missed. A lot of the members in our group anyway feel like they're kind of part of a family and part of a community in that group, so they all have gotten to know each other a little bit. Having a public group, I think, opens you up to a little bit more of a arguments and people not being able to mediate it and control it.
Yeah, a chance for trolls.
Exactly.
Chance for trolls, for sure. Yeah. And honestly, it's sort of what I like is people sort of post different things on their own. You've on a daily basis are posting something, name a song that starts with M, or whatever the theme of the day is. So that's always fun to sort of challenge everybody. But you also get to learn sort of what musical tastes people have, and connect with some people that have tastes similar to yours. Like, I know you and I sort of have a similar background, because when I was in high school, I worked in a record store. I managed a record store. I was a DJ for a long time, so music's sort of been in my blood the whole time. And of course, you worked in a record store or two, right, as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
um,
I worked for Sam's and I worked for HMV many years ago, and I've always been involved musically somehow. And you know, my life I thought would turn out where I worked in music, and I did throughout the years. But you know, in various forms. But this is something I've always wanted to do, and like you said, um, you and I have very similar musical taste, but my musical taste, much like yours, are probably all over the board. I mean, I could be listening to
yeah,
one thing and then
for sure.
way over on the other side of the spectrum 5 minutes later. And that's what's good about this group, is that it's not an 80s group, it's not a retro group, it's not a
Yeah,
rock group, it's not a hip hop group, it's a music group, and that
yeah.
encompasses all things music, all types, all styles, all genres. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's to me, yeah, it's always like it's like reaching into the bag or bits and bytes. You don't know what you're going to get every day, right? So that's why, honestly, I love. It's probably the only thing right now I actually check on Facebook. Is that I every night I look forward to go on at least once to see what the topic of the day is, or who's posting, or what anniversary of what album it is, or whatever the thing that's going on. So, and I think, and this is part of why I wanted to bring you on, is about what community and feeling part of a community, how that's, I think, it's helped maybe a lot of us, even, being isolated at home, but that ability to connect with other people is so important to mental health. And I thank you for at least contributing to my mental health through the last last year and a half. So,
well, I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. I think, not that anything's a good time right now with a pandemic, but I think we couldn't have started this at a more perfect time, because it gave everybody something to look forward to. And the amount of messages that I get daily saying, it's such a great page, thank you so much, I really appreciate it. And it's been amazing, and the amount of people that I've met, and it's just been fantastic.
Well, what I'm looking forward to is live events. So
I
maybe
hope,
there'll be a
yeah,
live record player event.
I'm kind of hoping that too. I keep thinking to myself, we've done all this and we keep bringing in new things and new ideas and new features to the group. Interviews was one of those. We started interviewing.
You've done a great job. Yeah. Can you name off a couple of the interviews you've had? Because you've had some very good artists on.
Yeah, we've had, it started off, the very first one I did was with Rick Jacket, from the guitarist from Finger 11. And then we did Gord Depp from the Spoons. We've done, who I believe. We've done Biff Naked. We've done Kevin Hearn from Bare Naked Ladies. A gentleman named Ethan Gold, who's a LA songwriter. As part of a new feature that we have, a new feature on Wednesday nights called New Humps, which is hump day Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
So it's called New Humps, and every week we'll, not necessarily an interview every week, but we'll feature a new album and a new artist or something like that, or even an established artist that has a new record out. But he was our first New Humps contributor there. We have Greg Godovitz. We just put up Tom Hooper from Grapes of Wrath.
Yes,
he was a lot of fun. Brett Kissel, country artist Brett Kissel. Stu Jeffries, the disc jockey, of course, who trying to get a bit of a media feel and see how that end of it goes. So yeah, that's been awesome. And being able to do that. But like you said, we trying to figure out what to do next, and now that once we're able to get out of this, what are we going to do? So I'd like to go on site and interview a few people, and interview face to face, and go to a music studio, something like that.
Zoom and Facebook Live and all these things get a little tiresome after a while. So,
but I don't know. Okay. Like, I'm afraid that once this whole thing is over and we are allowed to go live, I'm going to get in there and I'm going to be sitting next to somebody, and stupid me is going to reach over to take the hand, or give my
knock over the coffee, and
I'm going to look like a moron. But
for sure. So yeah, thanks for everyone that's joined us, and this is going to be reposted on several different sites and stuff. So again, the record player, I think maybe Jan will put a link, so if there's anybody interested, there will be a link somewhere on here to join, and ask for your permission to join the group. And
we'll let you in. We'll let you in.
Okay. And again, if you want to follow me, make sure you turn your notifications on. This is on the Mark Jensen team, and also my personal page, Mark Jensen. So I just want to talk about next week. Next week, I have 2 special guests on for a charity that's very close to my heart, that I donate a lot of money to each year, and have been working with since I was 18 years old, and that's Halton Women's Place. So next week, we're going to discuss, and it's an initiative that I absolutely love that they're doing, because for me, the shelter for abused women and children has always been sort of the Band-Aid. But what they're focusing now on is education. So they have a whole education wing, and someone that's heading up the education in the public schools. And also we're going to talk about us as fathers, how we have that discussion with our boys. And ultimately, if we can break the chain, that's the best solution. Band-Aids are after the fact. But so we'll talk a little bit about male masculinity. So it's going to be an interesting discussion. I look forward to that, and hopefully you can tune in, Scott. So
we have very similar ends to the means, I guess, when it comes to that, because the merch in the group,
right.
Some of the proceeds of that go to a women's organization as well.
Right.
A portion of those proceeds go to that, because we had a friend who was killed by her boyfriend last summer, a close friend of the family. So that's a very special thing to us.
And what's absolutely crazy is, still to this day, every 2.5 days, there's a woman killed by an intimate partner in this country, which is absolutely, that needs to change. And having these discussions and holding other men accountable to anything that we are seeing as well, and then making sure that we're raising good boys that know the difference between right and wrong and how to deal with situations. So.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you, Scott, and take care, and I will see you on the flip side of the record player.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to let everybody know we're there.
There you go. Okay, take care, Scott. Have a great day. Be safe.